Today's video is less of a tip and more of general PSA and awareness, and hopefully so EA will get this and get this fixed for Madden 26 as well as College Football 26. Today we're going to be talking about how to manually jam wide receivers and tight ends into the dirt, which oftentimes will knock them down completely and ruin the route combination for the offense. The reason that I believe this needs to be fixed is because this is so easy. Anyone can do it with literally 2 buttons. And from there, switch sticking off of it around the defense and just turning down the offensive route combination by 1 extra receiver, it's just too unbalanced to stay in the game. So I want to make sure that we get general awareness about this. Now, what we're going to be talking about today is a cocktail that you will need of the bottleneck and the bench press combined. Now, with the number of items in the game right now, whether it's the fan appreciation DB items such as Marshon Lattimore or the theme team surge cornerbacks in the game, you can put this on everybody on your team that plays coverage. In fact, I'm a zone coverage based player, mostly zone, some match. Very rarely do I ever play man press, but I can get the knockdown animations even from zone coverage assignments. It is that good. So let's go ahead and take this to the practice field so that you guys can see how this is done and hopefully get this fixed for Madden 26. Now, as we're loading into practice mode here, I just want to let you know we are running our College Football 26, Madden NFL 26, and Combo 26 presale offers on my strategy website, gridirongameplans.gg. If what I'm about to teach you in today's video or any of the other content here on the Zam Madden YouTube channel that I post absolutely free, so make sure you're subscribed, is something that you're interested in, you're sure to love Gridiron, because these tips oftentimes appear on the website far earlier in the year for my members, so they know exactly what's going on and what's down the pipeline with the tips and trends of competitive Madden. You will unlock everything on the website. That is all of our weekly updated vault tips. Over the course of the College Football and Madden 26 seasons, we uploaded over 250 tips respectively for each game over the course of the year. These weekly updated tips are curated for you, so it takes the lab work out of it, allows you to know what pros are running, how it works, and how to counter it. On top of that, all offensive and defensive game plans, members only Discord access, and lab sessions for the entire community inside of the Gridiron Discord are available to all members at no additional charge. And new to the website this year, I will be uploading all lab sessions. That way, those that are unable to attend live won't miss out on the action. It'll be complete with notes, timestamps, so that way you guys can go through and learn what we talked about quickly and get on with your day. Now back to the video. We're going to start off here with 2-man under, because if you have other AI players on the field with this exact ability cocktail, they'll do a pretty good job at pressing, albeit they won't be pressing people to the turf like you will. Now, with this particular example, the left side of my defense underneath, which are these 2 corners on the outside, DeJean and Lattimore, have this. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you guys how to get the jam animation. So we'll start off here with our user. All you're going to do is walk up to the line of scrimmage, and you're going to press left bumper and down on the stick. Your player will turn and strafe towards the quarterback, and this will kind of lock them in this position. They will not go off sides if you stand close enough to the line of scrimmage. If you are too far away and you try this trick, they will potentially go off sides. Sometimes they will stop, but in games, a lot of times you'll pick up an offside. So make sure you stand about a yard, half a yard away from the line of scrimmage and do this. And then you're just going to hold left bumper and down. And when the ball snapped, your player will shove that wide receiver to the ground, and they will be unable to basically throw to that player hot. This is good for taking away quick reads within an offense as well. So you see right here that I've got this Julian Edelman here in the left slot, and I am jamming him. You see that once the ball snapped, I square up, lock him up at the line, and we just literally throw him down. And this prevents him from basically getting into that vertical component of his route. This is, again, very, very useful if you're trying to take away a quick throw. Somebody likes to throw that pesky whip route, that slant route, a quick seam off the ball. This is good for slowing up one-play touchdown formulas too. A lot of times you have a streak that's a pull route in a particular play. If you could throw this route down at the line of scrimmage, now all of a sudden their complete route combo is screwed up because you didn't let them get into the pattern. Now, this does work in zone, but it is a little bit particular as it pertains what assignments you can be in here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to audible into a cover 2. You see I'm in a hook zone curl. I'm going to come down and I'm going to try this exact same thing. And you're going to see here when the ball snapped, I am able to get this chuck animation. Now, sometimes your player will get the zone chuck animation, which is more of just a little shove off the route. So you're going to want to kind of hammer your positioning with your user. Again, if I just kind of come down here and do this, you see in this example, I got the zone chuck, and that's not great because he does get off the ball. And in that case, he's able to, you know, get into the pattern. Now, if you guys want to mess around with other zones, you can put your guy into a curl flat. Again, you can do this from pretty much any assignment. You see right there, I'm still shoving the guy down pretty easily. Now, I'm sure some of you guys are wondering, what is the counter to this trick? Well, believe it or not, the counter is not consistent, but it is one of those press beating passive X factors as abilities that we talked about in other videos on the channel. Which reminds you guys, if you're not subscribed here, so much of the content we talked about comes full circle down the road as we talk about things that counter it or reference older videos. And you guys can really build a library of great knowledge of this game absolutely free here on this channel. But again, make sure you guys are taking a look at my Gridiron Game Plans pre-sale for Madden 26 and College Football 26. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put this DK Metcalf in the game. And he's got the double me X factor. This is supposed to be an ability that can get off the jam pretty easily. But again, if you're using the user press mechanic, a lot of times you'll still be able to lock them up and throw them down at the line, which is what you see right there. Again, the other thing with this too, and I haven't really touched on it too much, is that we have the bench press built into this stack as well. The bottleneck will knock players down by itself, but the bench press a lot of times will fatigue the receiver. And what this will do is it'll make it so when they run their route, they run it kind of more slowly, and their catch and traffic rates go through the floor because they're tired already when they're catching the ball. And then that hit oftentimes will jar the ball loose. So a lot of times just getting a jam of a player off the line with this, that bench press does a little bit more than most people are willing to admit. But again, here you see that you have to have your placement down, get close to the line of scrimmage. You cannot be in a spot where, you know, you're 2 yards off trying this, or else you're going to whiff like you saw in the last example. I do want to let you guys in on kind of the counters to this. My advice is look where the user is, because once you see them lock in, they do this little like shimmy. You see how my guy's kind of wiggling his hips? This is an alert that he's probably going to get bench pressed. And you see right there that that's what occurs. And you want to free him up from the jam. So if I were an offensive player, what I would say is, okay, my guy's trying to manually jam. I got to get this guy off the press. So one thing you might do is, you know, try to do a motion snap. Now, all of a sudden I'm locked in and I'm screwed, especially because I'm in man-to-man coverage. That guy's on the other side. So I've got to reset my play. I've got to move this guy over and screw things up. I got to check into zone. There's a lot of different ways that the defense will have to adjust to this, but, you know, ultimately they're probably going to audible into zone, which is better when you're facing, you know, 4 bottleneck, bench press, universal coverage type players. So you'll be fine in that regard. Now, one of the other things that I do want to let you guys in on is that if you guys have the ability to put bottleneck plus bench press on a player and maybe get them in a linebacker type role, you might have to choose a different defense. I think the Dime 2-3 has a package where this right inside linebacker is actually a corner. So you could do this. He just basically turns him into a glorified slot corner. But you could actually do this with a slot against a tight end. Now, tight ends are originally thought to be unbumpable in this game, but I'm going to show you that you can actually prevent them from getting off the ball as well. So you're going to see right here, I'm going to try to throw this one to Goddard. The key to this is to make sure that you don't have a defensive lineman in front of you, because he's kind of in the spot that you need to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of move him, and then I'm just going to lock in right here. Now you see right here that this is really tough because I have so many players around me. That's why tight ends are oftentimes kind of that pressure release valve in a lot of these formations. But I am going to try to get an example here where you guys can see that, you know, I could get this animation. So let me actually just move this linebacker out of the way here. So that way I have a free position to kind of do this. And again, I'm just going to stand over him about a yard off the ball, half a yard off the ball. And I'm going to press left bumper and down, get the shimmy animation. And you see right there that the tight end is a little bit tougher to press, but you can, if you get your lab work done, get into a position where he actually is going to, you know, be a little bit tougher to get a free release. So I'll go ahead and try to get ourselves an example here. This should be actually better here. Let's see. Yep, there it is. And you see that at bare minimum right here, I didn't knock him to the turf, but I did kind of ride the animation out. And kind of to round this out, a lot of times you'll notice you don't really get those illegal contact penalties that you get traditionally with the actual press mechanic, which is supposed to be the A button. With this one, a lot of times you can actually run the animation down the field like 10, 15 yards and not get a flag. To be honest with you, I think EA needs to get rid of this mechanic altogether. This animation needs to leave the game. It's spammed in squads, as far as I know, too. Really, really rough in squads where you have 3 users doing this to people. Obviously a really good weapon for individual snap to snap calls within you know, a one-on-one Madden construct as well, but it needs to go. This video is not to teach you guys how to cheat or glitch or whatever. It's the end of the Madden 25 season. It's a pretty harmless mechanic at this point, but we cannot see this be a thing in Madden 26. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Take advantage of the pre-sale offers on Gridiron. Time is running out. Otherwise, stay plugged in right here to the channel. I still got you covered either way. Until next time, this is Zan. Good lab and good luck.